Yes, hello and welcome to the first episode of Families Fight for Freedom in Sweden. I am Malin Karlsson, Tuva Malin Karlsson, and I'm fighting for families' rights in Sweden to be reality and for children's rights and for women's rights in the Swedish system. We have in Sweden a government and a system that is very abusive, and the ones who are supposed to protect from abusers are the abusers themselves, most of all. So the communistic and socialistic system of Sweden are kidnapping our children in a very fast speed, and it's a systematic discrimination of mothers, women, and children with disabilities, etc. And there is a human trafficking in the whole system, in the whole society of Sweden. They are trafficking children, they are trafficking women, they are trafficking humans, and they are trafficking disabled people, they are trafficking immigrants, they are trafficking old people, and they create institutions where they hold our relatives and families and children captive. So they are imprisoning all people in Sweden. All people are imprisoning in institutions. Either it is foster homes or there is other institutions and prisons. And now the politicians, and they are not listening to our children. And we have this European collaboration where they have human rights. And yesterday was the celebration of 50 years for women's rights in the world and in Sweden. And what was very remarkable of the meeting yesterday was that all women were talking about the violations of women's rights and children's rights in Sweden. And they were all saying that it's the worst place for women and children to be living in. So the problem also is that it is a culture of silence, and that people are trying to get focus on other countries' violations to kind of darken what is going on in their own country of Sweden. So that's a huge problem, that people are not talking about the violation, the worst torture towards women and children in the country of Sweden. They are trying to gaslight people. They are trying to gaslight the world and to spread lies to the world that they have no violations and no torture of women in Sweden, which is the worst place in Sweden. And I am a mother, I am a Christian, I am a strong advocate for human rights and for children's rights, and to stop all torture of women and children and families in the whole world. So there are torture going on in Sweden, in the system of Sweden itself, and they are always lying, and they are always gaslighting the victims, and the abusers they highlight. They lift up the abusers in the Swedish society. And there are so many abusers of the country of Sweden. There are so many pedophiles. There are so many sexual traffickers, pedophiles, and victims of the kind of, they call it a welfare system, but it only produces victims of the hospitals, of prisons, of mental disorders, of norm-breaking behaviors. So the country itself creates the worst violence. And they have this, Sweden has the worst violence towards women and children, and the after violence is like total in Sweden. So if you meet an abuser, and you try to seek help when you get pregnant or you get children together, then the system starts the after violence, which systematically kills almost everyone that get into this after violence and the violence of the government. So we have so many children dying right now. We have so many children committing suicide inside of the prisons of foster homes and institutions and literally prisons. And we have so many suffering mothers, fathers, families, and they are also committing suicide because the torture is unbearable. It's an unbearable torture and violations of our rights and our just basic needs. The children's needs and women's needs in Sweden, they are violating. I am also going to invite guests, of course, to this podcast. We have contacts with psychologists all over the world. We have contacts with film directors, producers, doctors, child psychologists, and ex-social workers that actually wants to help people. We have a contact net that's spread all over the world with a lot of social workers that actually wants to help. They don't want to torture and violate people. So they finished their job inside of the social services, and they are working for the people and for children and for families. They are literally and practically helping people. So and we have a lot of parents, of course, and affected parents, children, ex-foster children, ex-institutionalized children and grown-ups that are also in our contact net. And we are trying to help each other. We are trying to raise awareness, and we want to do a change. We want to act for changes in Sweden. So I'm having a very dedicated mother with me as a guest. My first guest to my podcast is Camilla Torbensson, and she is a beautiful, positive, amazing mother. She's demonstrating for human rights and her family's rights 2 times a week. And there are also other demonstrations around Sweden that's going on every week. So, welcome, Camilla.
Hello. It's nice to see you. It's not sunny here in Sweden, but we demonstrate today at 1 o'clock, and
Yes,
I hope it doesn't rain. So we are
yes.
fighting for the children in Sweden.
Yes, we have actually 200 organizations that's fighting for human rights and children's rights in Sweden, and 200 organizations that are saying that the government and the authorities, like the also the courts and the politicians, that's they are laymen. They don't have any education in the courts when it comes to human rights and children's needs and children's psychology and development and health. They have no education, and they get a lot of, like in my case, I had 5 psychologists witnessing for me and my son, and the courts refuse to listen because they choose to abuse power instead and to earn money of the system that's are torturing children and families. Like this was 10,000 years when you were living in caves. That's the situation of Sweden. It's like cavemans and Vikings violating our children's and women's rights. And there is a norm in the Swedish society. It's a patriarchal norm where they discriminate all women and all children. And this is a huge violation, of course. And it's like it's the Stone Age still in the Swedish society. So all other countries have developed, they've gone further, they go forward, but the Swedish society is still in the Stone Age of time. So you get very you get very conflicted of this, like on the one side you see modern society develop, but behind closed doors and on the other side the torture on the torture is going on children and women, and we definitely need to stop this torture, because if you go to the European court and the European rights, they, for a long time ago, they stopped the permission of torturing people. So, Camilla, how can you tell us about the torture that's they are doing to your family? Tell us about this situation and the torture you are. How can I explain? Tell us about the torture, please.
Uh, it's very sad that the children are in foster care, for mother and father is here, and there are lots of parents that are fighting for their children, that they come home, but the social services don't want the children to come home. They want to have foster care, and they earn lots of money. That's why it's lots of money that's involved. So we are fighting for the children in Sweden. So we demand justice. That's
Yeah, we are demanding justice once and for all, for me as a mother, for you as a mother, for our families, like grandmothers, grandparents, cousins. You know, they try to um, destroy generations in Sweden. They are destroying generations of people, and they are doing that, as you say, for their own ego and their own ego's satisfaction of money. And you know, it's a perverted country. Sweden is a perverted country with perverted people, and they are so delusional, and they are trying to create false narratives of us as parents, mothers, I would say, because mothers are the most discriminated group of humans in Sweden, and our children. So they are trying to create narratives. They are lying about us as mothers, and they are literally trying to burn us as witches. But we are the opposite. We are the saints. We are the truth tellers, and we are Christians, and we want to live in truth. So all of these lies that comes from the system, that comes from the authorities, it's really the devil working inside of these people. And it's not by accident. You know, you can do sin, you can hurt someone accidentally, and the person you hurt tells you, this is hurting me, stop violating me, stop hurting me. And as a human being, you say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. But what this system and the people inside of this devilish and satanic and evil, worse than evil system are doing is that they hear us cry, they hear us scream, they hear all the you know, well educated, experienced people say, stop hurting, this is violence. It's violence towards Malin as a mother, as a woman. It's a violence towards her son. So they are doing this with purpose. Uh, and as you say, so it's a very, very sinful and evil country. And they do it with purpose, and they do it to earn money on our sufferings. And they are they are yeah, they are stealing generations. They are stealing so many generations in Sweden of Swedish people. So yeah, this is a very, very sad, and um, you also get very angry, and that is just a natural feeling when someone hurt you, when someone hurt your family, and you say over and over again, stop hurting my family. And a human being, I mean a natural normal human being, would stop hurt you if you tell them that you are hurting us. So, and we have this person in the EU department, like the whole Europe decided to work together for human rights and for humans' right to freedom. And we have one person that is saying she is sitting in the Parliament of EU, and she's saying that someone needs to start take responsibility for the violations and the torture that's going on for women and children in Sweden. But no one is taking responsibility, and we are taking responsibility. We are demonstrating. We are holding our children's voices up high, and we are screaming for the sake of our children's voices, because she's saying that these children's voices that are in foster homes, no one listen to them, but we are talking for our children. So they need to, and they have the obligation to listen to us. They cannot refuse our voices because we are standing up for our children's voices. So, Camilla, tell us more about our children's voices.
Today we are in Mellerud in Sweden there. I don't know if there's lots of people today. So, we're going to talk about what the social services are doing to our kids. We are taking, we have a documentary that we are going to spread it out to the people that the social services are kidnapping children.
Yes, and it's also important to warn people about the family courts. And when people, if anyone still thinks that family court is something that is helpful for families, you are wrong. Family courts are torturing families. They are abusing, and they use violence towards families in Sweden. So we want to stop this violence towards families. And I mean, if a country decides to have how can you say, monopoly of violence, like you are the Swedish state and you have monopoly of violence, which means that the state are the only ones who are have the right to use violence. That violence has to be used towards equal parts, like evil. Mostly men are violent, are in criminal settings, are in criminal networks. So they, if they have this monopoly of violence, why do they use it on us, on mothers, on single mothers, and on children? Why are they using the violence to us? Because we have not done anything. We have not done anything wrong. We have been proven to be perfect parents for our children. We are the best parents you can ever find for our children. And I have that written, it's proven, it's described, it's investigated, and the result is that I am the perfect best parent, mother for my son. So these lies that they are, I mean, they are writing down lies of us, which abuses our children, because they are then lying to our children, which is so damaging for our children. So what they are doing is damaging our children. And the truth is that it's the worst and most evil parent you can find is the Swedish system and their authorities and institutions and foster homes. I mean, if they have a question about our parenting abilities, what are they? How good parents are they? I mean, they are killing children every day. they are damaging our children every day. They are not letting our children's voices to be heard. They refuse to listen to our children's voices every day. They are the evil parent. They need to stop gaslighting us, lying about us, because the truth is that they are worse than evil as parents to our children. That's the truth. Do you have a comment of that, Camilla?
That's true what you're saying. We must fight for our children's rights and our rights in Sweden, because it's child abuse that they're doing to us.
Yes, it's a real child abuse and child trafficking in Sweden. And the picture I have on this podcast is the fight between Jesus and the devil. Because you know that Jesus, he lived as close to God and obeyed God as much as anyone has ever obeyed God. So he is our leader. Jesus is our leader. And the government and the state and their authorities are the devil. And that is literally right, because if you penetrate the family courts and how they work and the social services, how they work in Sweden, we are especially talking about Sweden, but this is a global problem. They are actually standing in, they are the devil's stand in, and they do it with purpose. So, you know, demons and angels are using people. So it's not just, I mean, it's demons, devils, it's demons, angels, and people. And these people in the system, in Sweden, in family courts, they are standing for the demonic actions of the world. And that is so it is a spiritual and psychological war as well as there is a physical war. So this is a war on all levels for our children and for ourselves. So yeah, it is a war. And the good thing, if you are a believer, a Christian, is that you know that God has already he won the war 2,000 years ago. So the evil that they are portraying and the actions, the evil actions they're doing, and they're also passive towards the evil they're doing. I mean, we have enlightened the world about how evil these people are. So everyone should know and take caution, be very, very far away from this demonic system. And as you said, also with the money, I mean, the root of all evil is people's love for money. And if you are trafficking children, our children, and you are doing it for money, your love for money, that's worse than evil. And it's also very interesting. It says in the Bible that the only time you can kill someone, like the punishment, the death penalty, the only time you can use the death penalty is when someone kidnaps your children. And that's what they're doing in Sweden, because they are removing children from good parents, from good mothers that are proven to be good mothers, and they still remove our children. And that is kidnapping. So it's very evil. Do you agree, Camilla?
Yes, it's very evil, and we must stop it.
Yeah. And this podcast is going to be a lot of interviews and talks with psychologists and ex-social workers and people in the professional people in the healthcare system and ex-foster kids and ex-institutionalized kids. And there are other podcasts with children and young people talking about this evil system, and how abusive it is, and how damaging it is, and how they swap the abuser with the victims, and they accuse the victims, which are mothers and children. So we are going to have a lot of guests in this podcast that are standing on the right side of good and evil. So yeah, and we are also going to inspire people to stand up on the good side and to fight against the evil side. And there are a lot of need when it comes to children and young people in Sweden. They have a need to find people that they can work with, they can talk with, they can use they have the right to spread their opinions and what they are thinking and what they want with their future. So this is a great need in the Swedish society for young people, for children, to be able to speak up. So we will try to focus on the children and on young people, young adults in Sweden. So that's very interesting, and that's very needed. And the problem, I mean, we are talking about a dysfunctional and evil system, but there are also we saw in the papers today that there were 6 out of 10 children living in poverty in Sweden. They don't have enough money to buy food. So the war they are doing toward the civilians in Sweden is affecting children and mothers in the same way as the war in Palestine mostly affects children and women. So it's the same mechanisms, the violence mechanisms that's in Palestine, the same violent mechanisms are they working with in Sweden. So we need to fight this battle, and we have to come together, because if we are more people fighting together, we are stronger, we have much more resistance, and we have to show our children that we are resistant, and that we have because we are standing up for our children, so we are resistant, and we will progress, we will go forward. Yes. So do you have something to say, Camilla?
Yes, I'm going to go to Mellerud soon to demonstrate, and it's going to be a good demonstration today.
Yes.
No. I hope the sun will come out soon. So
It's painting a very good picture of Sweden, you know, when it's dark at 10 months out of 12, and in what I'm saying, that this is a physical fight, and this is a spiritual and psychological fight, like it's invisible, but it's also very, very visible, because we are seeing children suffering. We are seeing our children being suppressed, they are occupied, they are sad, they feel no, euphoria and this innocent happiness that all children have the right to feel. So we are seeing the visible signs of the war that Sweden is doing towards Swedes. So we are seeing this, it's very visible in Sweden, but it's also invisible. So we have to stand together and to fight, and so the 10 months of darkness is mostly psychological darkness. It's most spiritual darkness in Sweden. It's very, very, you know, it's a very visible and invisible fight between good and evil. So, I mean, it's dark outside, but that's not the worst darkness. The darkness is the evilness inside of the system and how evil these people in the system are towards us and our children. That's the worst darkness. But the light has already conquered the darkness, and the only way to get rid of these spiritual and psychological darkness is to spread the light. So we have the light inside of us, and we are praying for our sons and daughters. I speak to my son every month, and I pray for him every time, and he likes that. So if we are showing them the light, the darkness finally have to flee. It has to flee. It has to go away. So we have to continue to spread the light and also resist the devil. Because it says in the Bible, if you resist the devil, he will flee from you. Evilness will flee from you. And the weapons that we as Christians have is our prayer to God, is God, and it's the Bible. To read the Bible is very important because that's our protection. So if we read the Bible, if we walk closely to God, and if we resist the devil, he will flee from us. So, yeah, very important.
That's good, Malin.
Yes.
Mm.
So, do you have any final words for our audience, Camilla?
It's nice to have somebody who talks to people that you know, Malin, that you know how the system works, and I know too how the system works. So we know the problems in Sweden, and we must get it out to the people that don't know how the system works.
Absolutely.
So
And I
yes, we are fighting for the children
yeah, we have to stop
today.
this money making machine of our children's lives and futures, and also our generations' life and futures, because they are destroying generations in Sweden, and this has to stop. Because it's not legal to destroy generations. It's not legal to abuse children and women. That's illegal, and the only way we can stop these evil people is to get them into court and to get them into prison. To take we have to make them um, take responsibility for their evil actions and for their criminality. So the crimes they are committing towards our families and our generations, they have to take accountability for those crimes and actually go to prison and to take their punishments for all of their crimes. So we are also, I mean, it's just the way. Yeah. What's your comment, Camilla, on that? Are you with me?
Yeah, yeah, it's good what you're saying. We must fight because the government hurt children. Um, some of people think that it's the government helps children, but when we don't see, they hurt our children. So it's many children that dies under the what you call the ward. So It's it's hurting children they are hurting children in Sweden.
I mean, they call it treatment, but in reality, it is torture and violence. And when you torture someone, that's illegal. And it's illegal in Sweden, it's illegal in Europe, it's illegal all over the world. And if you abuse someone, it's illegal. It's a crime. And if you commit a crime, it doesn't matter if you are a servant, you are working for the government, you are servants, or if you are a civilian. It doesn't matter. If you commit crimes, you gotta go to court and you gotta go to prison. And you gotta pay the people that you are committing the crimes towards. You gotta pay them uh, a very high amount of money. And uh, you have to compensate both economically because that's a huge problem. They are trying to get our economy as well and our money that we work hard for. So the only right thing is when it comes to the law is that the criminals have to go to court. They have to compensate us economically, socially, uh, our physiology and psychologically and spiritually for our children as well. They have to compensate for all this time and all these things that they are stealing and that they are trying to kill and that they are damaging and that they are destroying. Because it says in the Bible that the devil only comes to steal, slaughter, and kill. And that's what the Swedish system systematically do. They steal our children, they steal our health, they steal all our opportunities and the future and our generations that are to come. So Sweden they have to compensate all of us for all of these and they have to return and give back everything that they stolen from us. They have to give back what they stolen from us. So they got to compensate with the time they stolen, the children. Of course, they need to give back our children and need to give back our money, our time, our health, our opportunities. They got to give it back to us.
Now in Sweden, they are just rich people or very poor people, no between. That's so. I think I'm the poorest, not the rich. So we must demand our rights here in Sweden. Now I'm going to talk to Mellerud. So it was nice to talking to you. Uh, yes, that's true. Thank you. Bye bye.